What's going on, everybody? Clyde the Trucker back again. Took a little couple of week hiatus after the last video got pulled down, so hopefully this one don't. Just have a couple quick things that I want to talk about. Nothing too major, but also pretty big issues. Do you guys remember back when we were kids? And I'm sure even the older folks remember this as well. The Scooby Doo cartoons. You know, when Shaggy and Scooby'd be running from the bad guys, and they'd run into a door in like a long hallway full of doors, and then they'd come out another door, and the bad guys would go into another door. You know, it was just a whole fiasco. Well, that's kind of what's going on right now with our political system. Yeah, I really don't want to have to go into talking about this again, but evidently it's something that needs to be said, so we're just going to kind of do our thing here. With everything that's going on right now, uh, you got, our commander in chief falling up a flight of stairs, people making fun of him and stuff like that. You know what? I gotta say, I can't help but feel bad for the guy. You know, the guy's our commander in chief. And yes, while I don't agree with him politically, he's still our commander in chief, and I respect him being in that office. Whether you like somebody or not, you still have to accept that they're there, which is an important thing to learn in life for all you people out there that are trying to cancel everything. Just because it exists doesn't mean you have to have a say in it. We all have our opinions that we're entitled to in this country and in life. You know, if it's Dr. Seuss, if it's Pepe Le Pew, if it's, whatever everybody's mad at today. History, you know, either way, denying its existence does not relinquish it from existence. So let's just stop that bullshit right now. But that's another rant for another day. The issue that I'm seeing right now is with this mass shooting thing that happened over in Colorado. And I don't know all of the particulars on it because I ain't got time to sit down and read all of this shit. But the little bit of information that I'm getting made me think a little bit about why exactly this stuff happens. And I think I have a theory. Whether you care about it or not, that's to be determined. But here goes. The issue that we have right now with these shootings is not the guns. Yes, that's what I said. You can rewind it or I'll repeat. It is not the guns that are the problem. The guns have never been the problem. The type of gun has never been the problem. The people are the problem. The people that are doing this shit, by and large, are crazier than a shithouse rat. Every one of them. There has not been a case that I'm aware of where the person that did something like that did not have some sort of a mental illness. Now, all of you people out there that have some sort of diagnosis, I'm not picking on you. All I'm saying is we have a mental health crisis in this country that nobody talks about. Instead of looking at the elephant in the room, we keep trying to find the little scurrying mouse that's on the floor. We need to have this conversation. Where I live, they don't have, but I believe it's only one mental health facility, one like an inpatient facility. I mean, God, there's a million counselors. I mean, open the phone book, throw a dart, you're going to hit a counselor. That's not the issue. The counseling is not always the issue. Sometimes people need to be put into these places, to actually be treated. Take some time, get their meds right, talk to them, find out why they're so bent out of shape or what's going on, what's bothering them. Sometimes it's just somebody that feels like they're a complete outcast that nobody cares about, that they don't have a place in this world. And that's sad. It really is sad because, I can only imagine. I don't see any other way out of this but to address this issue. And it goes beyond just the gun control thing. It also goes into the drug issue. A lot of people have become dependent on painkillers, which is, of course, as we all are aware, how they end up on heroin and stuff like that. Instead of addressing the fact that they have a chemical dependence or they have a mental dependence on something, it's a criminal issue. Throw them in jail. You're not helping the problem. All you're doing is keeping them from it for a little while. Same with these people that are committing these mass murders, these mass killings, whatever you want to call them. These people are sick in the head, and instead of taking care of their mental issues, you're throwing them in a box and saying you're not allowed to go out and play with the rest of the people for a while. That's not helping. That's not fixing the problem. It's removing that person from society and letting them sit in a box and continue to be sick. Now, I know that they do have some degree of rehabilitation in the joint, but it's not enough. This should never have been, especially the drug issue, should never have been considered a criminal issue. I mean, obviously, you can do things with criminal intentions and stuff like that. I get it. But let's address the actual problem. Let's find out why these people are doing this stuff and address that. If somebody, I mean, yeah, obviously there's always that small percentage of people that are just doing it for the sake of doing it. Those are the people that, are nuttier than squirrel shit, and there's really nothing we can do about it. And those are the people that should be put in an inpatient facility long before they ever get to the opportunity to even commit something like this. Generally, there are warning signs. And we all know this. We've all heard all the news coverage about all of these different things that have happened, from those two guys that blew up that marathon back in 2013 to all these mass shootings and the Vegas with the country singer and all this other stuff. It's an ongoing problem. And the common denominator here is people being crazy. People doing crazy things because they feel that they have no other alternative. That's what we need to be talking about. Now, all of you people out there that are watching and they're sitting there going, well, how do we even get that conversation going? Well, here's what you do. Start calling your representatives and your senators and whoever else you can get a hold of. Go up as high as you can in the chain of command. Try to get a hold of these people and tell them, look, stop focusing on dumb shit and let's talk about the real problems. Because until this happens, nothing is ever going to change. There's one thing for sure that happens down in D.C. is there's a whole lot of people trying to undo what other people, their colleagues in most cases, have done. Even up to the presidents. The first couple of months of a presidency is nothing more than trying to undo what the last president did. So instead of trying to undo what everybody else is doing, how about we actually find good solutions for these problems? That way nobody has to undo anything. And by and large, as a whole, people are never going to completely agree on everything. But in most cases, you can find some sort of common ground. One little sliver is enough to start building on. If you're having a conversation about, the gun control issue, for instance, one person may disagree by saying, I think it's a gun problem. Another person would disagree, obviously, and counter with, I think it's a people problem. First off, let's just agree that there is a problem. which we most of the time do, there's your building point. Start talking to people that you don't necessarily understand their point of view or agree with their point of view from either side of the aisle, and try to find some sort of common ground so that way we can actually try to get some shit done. And that goes for more than just the the people down in Washington. It goes for everybody. We all need to sit down and have conversations with people you don't agree with. You may learn something from them. You know, I'm not saying change your point of view, but at least get to understand why the other person feels the way they do. They're obviously feeling a conviction for what they say and what they believe. Find out why they feel that conviction. I'm tired of this left people bad, right people bad, Biden bad, Trump bad. It doesn't matter. They're birds of the same feather. It's the same system regardless of who's in the office, who has their ass in a seat. And until we as the voting public do something about it, it's never going to change. So start calling your representatives and tell them, stop focusing on stupid shit. Let's focus on the real issue. Let's focus on this. Give them examples. Give them direction. Because 9 times out of 10, that's what they need. Don't leave them to their own devices. Don't let them sit there and try to decide what is best for their constituents. You are the constituents. You tell them what's best for you. They work for you. They are public servants. Treat them as such. If you don't like what they're doing, if you don't feel that they've done a satisfactory job, get rid of them. That's the beautiful thing about this system. Every couple of years, if you don't like something that they're doing, you can vote them out. Problem solved. Let somebody else try. If they don't do a good job, or if they do something that you don't agree with, you vote them out. And keep repeating until you find somebody that works for you. At the end of the day, we're all in this shit together. Just like everybody keeps saying about this COVID thing, we're all in it together. Yeah, we are. So let's make some changes and try to embrace the suck as much as possible, as they say. Let's try to make it as good as we can. Because there's an old adage, don't prepare the road for your children. Prepare the children for the road. The more time we spend trying to cancel things, throw things away, delete history, delete works of art for the sake of deleting them because 2 or 3 people don't agree with it, it's counterproductive. Have the conversation with your children. If there's something that you don't agree with, if you don't feel that it's right, talk to your kids about it and teach them. Don't indoctrinate them, but teach them to think for themselves. Think for yourselves. Teach them to be able to look at what's in front of them and deduce why it is the way it is. And, dare say, teach them how to initiate the change. And I'm not talking about going and ripping a statue down somewhere. I'm talking about learning from the past, learning from what's behind us, and applying it to what we do moving forward. People are all butthurt about all the, oh, well, Robert E. Lee statue's bad. Oh, because he was bad. You know what? That may be the case. But the statue is a reminder. It is a reminder of what was done. Use that reminder to move forward and not do the things that that person did. We learn from our ancestors. We learn from history. So start learning. Stop trying to cancel things because you don't like them. Learn from it. Seriously. Just get your acts together. Seriously. It's time that we start acting like civilized human beings again. It's time that we stop acting like a bunch of butthurt little fucking teenagers that don't know how to deal with anything. And here's a novel concept. It's time to start teaching your children how to function in life and not need a safe space. We don't need safe spaces. We need to figure out how to deal with the shit we see. Because you know what? Sometimes you can't protect them from everything. You can't protect yourself from everything. You may witness something in your life that's going to make you uncomfortable, and you need to learn how to deal with it. Has anybody noticed the influx in PTSD over the last 20 or 30 years? Not just from military people that have been overseas, and God love them for it. I respect you and I appreciate your service. But there's people that are getting PTSD now from situations that happen in civilian life. From, oh, I had a car accident. I can't, or I had a teacher that was mean to me and he didn't give me a good grade. Okay, instead of saying, okay, I had a car accident, what did I do? What could I have done to be proactive to not have another car accident? Be more vigilant. Sorry. Be more vigilant. Leave a little more following distance. You know, there are things that can be done. Damn near every accident that takes place is preventable. And everybody out there that's a truck driver knows that because our companies drill it into our fucking heads. If you have a situation with a teacher that gave you a bad grade, oh, instead of crying about it, needing a safe space and trying to cancel that teacher because you feel that that person's oppressive, how about do better? Do better. Study harder, put more time in. When next time you take a test, you may get a better grade. And if not, keep working your ass off until you get it right. We learn by trial and error. But guess what? We can also learn from the errors that other people have made. Start learning. That's what it boils down to. Start learning. Start learning about the people that do this shit, that go out here and perform all these crazy things, the shootings and the murders and the riots and everything. Start learning from them. Because you know something, if you have a conversation with somebody that looks like they're just crazy enough to do something like that, you may be the person that prevents that from happening. Just a simple act of kindness of having a 5-minute conversation with somebody just to let them know that they're still human and that they're on the face of this planet amongst other humans and that somebody, dare say, even cares about them. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, spend that 5 minutes. Because how many lives could that save? That's just my opinion. I'll leave it at that. At any rate, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, or you may even take something from it. And if you do, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I hate saying it, but yeah, that way, whenever my videos actually stay live for more than 10 minutes, you might actually get a notification about it. You take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Keep the rubber side down, the shiny side up. You take care of yourselves. We'll catch your ass down the line.